Right, welcome back to the third part of episode 5. In this section we'll discuss our non-league sides, or our other non-league sides, who've had sort of like a mixed fortune so far, I think it's fair to say. A couple of them punching above their weight, one or two not so much. We'll start with a team that we probably see more than anyone, that's Hall Road, our localish side. They've had an early season change in manager. Dave Ricardo has left and subsequently he's turned up at
Barton Town.
Barton, just over the river. Good move from All Road's point of view. Have we seen the seeds of change in the couple of games that he's been gone?
No, I think it's not had time to bed down really, has it? But I don't think it's a massive change because they've appointed Bill Gill, who was his assistant manager anyway, so they're obviously not going for big change. I saw them at Barton before Dave Ricardo went there, and it was very similar. There wasn't a lot had changed. In some ways, I'm surprised that Dave went because obviously he had a great season last year. But Pete and I saw him a few times early season. We didn't think the dynamic was the same, did we?
No,
it looked a bit different.
That's right, and it wasn't quite the same spirit. It was a bit disjointed. It's no great surprise it's come to a head, whether it was that or something else that caused it.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed to be sort of more arguments between players and coaches and between players and players. And if I'm honest, I probably thought that they maybe sort out some of the players rather than Dave. So I was still surprised that he went, but it was definitely different. So clearly some frustration somewhere.
Well, the official reason was kind of to do with the budget, wasn't it, in the estate. And I think if he has overstepped the mark there in terms of overspending his budget, then the club has to look after itself, done it first and foremost, and say that's just not acceptable. Whether he's doing that for good reason in terms of wanting to bring better players in and more.
Well,
players,
I mean, from what I've heard, I don't think it was like wanting players in. I think it was wanting sort of bonuses for the players that he's got from the cup games. That's the story I've heard. So if it isn't true, apologies to All Road, but
Evening, Darren.
I'm Darren's lawyers.
But it's hard. I mean, certainly I'm not taking sides because I like Dave. He's a great character in local football. I mean, I think everybody knows Dave. I mean, I think every ref in the area sent him off, he's worked everywhere. Like Dave a lot. Like the guys who are coaching and who are now managing at All Road. The players are a good bunch, and then the people running the club like Lee and like Darren, and like what do you call that fella who plays the music and leads the team?
Sometimes sits with
sometimes
us.
sits on here, yeah.
The fifth Beatle.
That fella, yeah. He's had more clubs
Neil.
than Tiger Woods.
We won't worry about it. Evening, Neil.
There's good people running the club, so certainly they've obviously done what they think they have to do, but it's a shame really because it overshadows what they're trying to do, which is compete on the pitch.
Yeah, they're making a reasonable fist of that.
They're not pulling up any trees, are they? But they're not looking at any danger.
They had a fantastic result at Handsworth Paramore, and we was wasting our time watching City against Preston.
But then they're going to lose on Saturday, don't they? It's that kind of almost win one, lose one.
Yeah, there was a sending off on Saturday, and it was difficult.
Was it Josh?
No, it wasn't actually.
Oh.
No, I think it's going to be interesting because Bill Gill is a quiet man, and he's obviously stepping up and to fill the shoes of Dave, who was quite vociferous on the touchline. And then you've got Andy Watts, who's sort of like, well, I can only liken him to the mayor of Royston Vesey in the League of Gentlemen.
Very flattering.
My fucking pleasure.
Well, as I said at Barton, I think Watts is shouting for 2 now. And I think he's up to the challenge.
Yeah, I think he is as well.
Do you think at this point we could edit in a picture of the from Royston just for reference? Well, you two
better edit in a picture of Watts so people know what it's talking.
I've seen a few games this season, and I think they're not going to be in any sort of danger of going back down, I don't think, either to Division 1. They're going to stay in that.
I'd be very surprised if they were.
It's just, they look solid and look organised, but I always keep wondering if they've got kind of enough creativity going forward in that team. I'm not sure the way that some of them players are deployed as well. I would kind of use them. me an idiot, obviously, and Bill Gill not
Yeah.
an idiot, but people like Josh Batty kind of like stood hugging the touchline and things like that. They think he'd be better in the centre, and I'm not sure that 4-3-3 gets the best.
But then I've
players.
seen games when Josh has been the best player playing out wide. But I do agree with you because you want another Josh Batty in the middle.
Yeah.
But then it's difficult because you get
it's a tough league as well.
like Chambers goes and scores a hat trick at Hammersmith. So maybe he's the guy to make the difference because he's another one who wasn't around that much when Dave was there. He's not the only one.
Well, Malcolm did a blog, didn't he, about a month ago, touching on the start of the season. And I think we all pretty much agreed that if they'd got within a point of Brid Town's start to the season, they would have been happy
Yeah, you would have thought
at the start of August.
third.
that they would have been, like you say, in the upper echelons of the table, wouldn't they, if there was a point behind Brid. I don't know if that's still the case, because there's a few games passed since then, but...
I don't think Brid have made a particularly startling...
Brid, well, just get on to them, they're not particularly pulling up any trees, are they, at the moment?
No, I mean, I'm quite surprised, really, by their start. I mean, I'm not surprised Pickering are up there. I think when we did the last one of last season, we all picked Pickering and Brid as being the teams to beat, but when you've got, like, Ponty Coles have made a fantastic start, won all but one game, I think, and just sort of, that's kind of the start I expected Bridlington to make.
Yeah, it's tough anyway when it's only one promotion slot in a division, but I mean, Curtis was quite sort of cutting money with about after the South Shield game in the FA Cup when the players were, on the party bus back to Brid afterwards after getting beat because they'd kept it down to 2 against a decent team, and it was quite scared, wasn't he, of the attitude of his players.
Yeah, you had a Twitter.
I
mean, equally, there is players that he's brought them in, hasn't he? So.
Yeah. Similar like we said about David Ricardo earlier, where you thought maybe the players would go. I think at Brid it is the other way around, where it seems like Curtis is in charge, and if there's any problem, it's the players that he's going to turn over. He certainly won't be afraid to speak his mind. I mean, when is he ever?
Well, he's made a big thing about not paying a lot of money this year, and yet they've just signed, kid whose name escapes me, but one of the stars at Handsworth, the midfielder.
Right, yeah.
He's just signed this week for Brid, which I find a bit of a strange move, but there you go.
No, I mean, I think they've got a good squad, Brid, and they've got a guy who he's a decent manager, and he knows the game, and I do think there should be better.
Yeah,
I mean,
they can't let the gap get too big, can we? Because if you're chasing one team, then it's if you got rid of Cleethorpes last season, this is a chance.
It is difficult. I mean, the problem is as well. Like I said, Pickering and Ponty have hardly dropped any points at all, have they?
That's right.
Do you find that early season at this level, with the cup competitions kicking in fairly early, you don't build up any kind of consistency in the league? I know a game's a game, but you're swapping from league to cup. You're having fixtures postponed. You're playing midweek. It's in the early first 2 months of the season, it's hard to...
There isn't another league like it, I don't think.
No.
Like the North Counties, I mean, at one point it was like five games between. There's teams who played 5, teams who played 10.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just won't get that. But we saw Curtis pre-season, and we're asking him about the first set of fixtures was midweek, and everybody had a game except Brid. And we said to Curtis, why aren't you playing? And he said, I haven't got a clue. It's ridiculous. But I haven't got a clue. So even he didn't know why they didn't have a game. And then, like I say, you go and win a couple of games in the Vars and the FA Cup, and suddenly you've got 4 games in hand.
Your opposition have got a replay, haven't you?
Exactly, that's the problem. And then you've got teams like Pickering and Ponty who are playing and aren't dropping any points.
Mansfield are doing pretty well.
Mansfield.
They were decent all road, weren't they, to be fair to them? They were sort of big and organised, weren't they? And they were capable of doing a job on a whole road team. That's fairly strong itself in that respect, I think. Relies a lot on sort of a physical approach to things and keeping it tight, and they managed to sort of scrape out a win. Then the games that gave you promotion, don't they?
But I do think if we get to the end of the season and Bridlington haven't challenged, I think they'll be really disappointed, because I don't think they're going to get many better opportunities.
No.
When there's only one real standout team in the league.
Yeah, there's no real... For all there's an early-ish season pace setter.
There's nobody as good as Cleethorpes last season.
No, exactly. No. So on that note, you two have seen quite a few teams in the opening couple of months of the season. Who would be your tip for promotion, or your dark horse for the title? And who's sort of disappointed you in terms of they should be worried?
Well, I think...
worried, Arrogate Railway.
Yeah, they're a poor side.
Not a great side. They're struggling even at home.
Yeah, I would have said Barton.
Yeah, as I said, Barton. I mean, they've been perennial struggle, haven't they? But
they have, yeah.
But I think that was anticipated, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think now Dave's gone there, they might pick up. But the thing with Dave Ricardo's gone there, they have lost some decent-ish players, haven't they? Like Gary Bradshaw and Paul Foot, who've been around. So I would say them. I think, yeah.
Although Bradshaw hinted on Twitter that he's semi-retired, but missing it. So I
well, he's got to turn up at all road, sure. If he's got the app for ticking off the teams, he's missing all road.
Yeah. So his own mini ground up, I think he's got a bunch.
So no, I mean Pickering look a real strong side. I haven't seen the best side in the first division, which is Knaresborough. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to go and see Knaresborough.
So managed by Greg Anderson, Ferriby centre half. Yeah.
So they've had a fantastic start, which I don't think anybody saw, did they? I mean,
no, there must have been some major changes there.
Yeah.
Were they kind of pushing on the playoffs last season? Knaresborough? Maybe just fell a bit short.
Yeah, they were sort of mid-table too.
Was it Knaresborough with the overly swearing manager?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was the most memorable thing.
Yeah, that's all I remember about them. Yeah.
When he stood at the opposite end of the dugouts at Hall Road, and all you can hear is their manager swearing his head off every other word.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
They were not a pleasant.
We've seen Carnegie a bit in Division 1, haven't they? They don't look like they're going to pull up any trees.
No, although they did beat Yorkshire Amateur at the weekend.
It's changing management, isn't it?
Yorkshire Amateur are the sort of big team in that division, aren't they? They've spent the money in, they've got Ash Flynn from Emily and look like the team were going to run away with it. And are they 4 points behind Knaresborough and they've played 2 more games?
Yeah, I think that's maybe an opposition that sort of suits them in some respects, in that the way they're set up, they're not set up to play great expansive football. It's more a case of bringing the others down to your level, and I think.
Well, interestingly, they're managed by Ricardo's brother now.
Yeah, but I mean, no, but they're sort of a hard-working, physical Route 1 type of team, and you know, you look at sort of even down to sort of Premiership football. Look at the success that some of these Route 1 managers have had against teams like Arsenal. You know, who come trying to play football and they just battled out of it.
So we're saying East Yorkshire Carnegie versus Yorkshire Amateur is Stoke versus Arsenal.
Potentially, yeah.
Well, if I can say Ferriby's like a whole city scenario.
No, but I
extrapolating this.
I mean, I don't think they're a great side. I'm particularly impressed by them, but in fairness to them, I mean, they're going to comfortably, finish probably mid-table to upper in that league, having been a Humber Prem side last year. So, you can't really knock them for that. But yeah, I think you're right. It is a little bit brutish, but whatever works. And that's the thing about football. It's whatever works. Maybe Ferriby can try being brutish and see if that.
No, you work with the teams the players that you've got, and you try and play to their strengths. And if their strength is to sort of physically spoil games, against the top teams, that's great. I mean, if at Yorkshire Amateur, if Ash Flynn doesn't get the service, then they're going to struggle for goals maybe. And it's not a great surface to play football on.
The Wembley of the North.
Well, that generally does sort teams out round about kind of now, doesn't it? When the weather starts to change, you get a little bit more rain, the pitches start to cut up a little bit more. It's a massive leveller.
It can be, yeah. I mean, Pete and I went to Nostell last week, and I think there was more than a little rain, wasn't there? It was like a monsoon. Only in that village, though, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, it was localised.
It was, very localised.
Yeah, parked in a field and was thinking, I'm going to have to dig it out.
It was like torrential rain through the game and massive puddles on the streets, and then you kind of got back onto the M62 and it wasn't too bad. So, but it is. Is it just me or are pitches better now? I think they seem better everywhere, really. Not Deep Park, but everywhere else.
Possibly. I mean,
I think we've seen some really good pitches, haven't we?
We have, but we've seen some stinkers as well, like Pontefract. I mean, that's going to be interesting. Pontefract are doing so well. What's going to happen when the winter comes? And it's not a great surface there.
Well, it's at the bottom of an embankment, isn't it? Really,
yeah.
It's like any rain that falls on that embankment just runs across that pitch. So it wasn't a pretty bad state when we went, but it was April, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the key to it is not to play on a surface and ruin it for the season. I'm thinking of Hall Road a couple of Christmases ago when they played
Boxing Day was
Boxing Day on United,
Yeah.
and it was ruined for the rest of the season, wasn't it? And,
Yeah.
and it'll be interesting to see how having two teams on that pitch this year holds up, because I was on it a couple of weeks ago, and there was quite a few divots that it needed replacing and a couple of slides and stuff. And
It's that financial reality, I suppose. Isn't it? You can't take away that money, can you, from a ground share, can you?
It's difficult, isn't it? But then the more money you need to spend on your pitch, so as long as you're putting that money away for a rainy day, which they probably are.
I think ground sharing there is probably more realistic than Barton.
Yeah, because
that's what
knackered Barton a couple of seasons back, didn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it, it's so low down, and I'd hate to be groundsman there. It must be soul destroying.
You just don't do the plug and it goes.
Wait, the Humber comes up. The water table's about a foot higher than the pitch.
So we've touched on the fact that it's non-league day this coming Saturday, so we'll just quickly go through the fixtures if anybody out there is interested in going to see a couple of games. Ferriby have got FC United, and then a few echelons down we've got Hall Road are at home to
Clipston,
which is that'll be a good game.
Yeah.
Well, Clipston have lost, haven't they? 11 out of 11.
Yeah.
Good game for goals.
Good game for goals.
Clipston are the Crystal Palace of the North Counties Premier.
We've got with Carnegie got.
No idea.
They were.
No idea, but it must be away.
They're away.
Yeah.
Barton are at home
to Pontefract.
Yeah, Pontycollis.
Again, that'll be a decentish game.
I think it'll be a good game.
And Bridgetown are at home to. I've seen the bloody poster thing. I want to say Thackley, but it's probably not.
No, you want to Google it on the.
Yeah, I'll quickly go.
Bridgetown are at home.
Anyway, Bridgetown are at home anyway for anybody in the Brid
I suppose
area.
we should say well done to West Ella. Those are the next round of the Vars.
Yeah,
yeah, and West Ella will face Whitley Bay in the next round of the Vars. A well-known, successful team in the Vars. That'll be a decent fixture. Which we may try and get to.
I think I've seen Whitley Bay on Match of the Day as well in the FA Cup first round. I seem to remember that one from the early 90s. Seems it's a real strong area for football, isn't it? Certainly for crowds and everything. So it'd be interesting to see a sort of Humber Premier team against Northern Premier. I mean, there's a hell of a gap.
I think they'll get found out. Yeah. In fact, I think Hall Road got Ashington, which will be a tough ask. But Brid got.
They're all Bristol in?
No, not Brid. Who got? What were we talking about?
No idea.
We had a group chat. It'll come back to me. We'll edit that bit out anyway. I've completely forgotten who we were on about the other night. So yeah, that's the Hall. That's the Hall. That's the local games for non-league day. If anybody out there wants to go around and support their local side, it's better than watching City. Let's be honest.
It's cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah. And you might actually enjoy it.
You can take your kid.
And it could be ball boy, girl, mascot. Yeah. So that's it for this episode of View from the Allotment End, the podcast. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back soon with the next one. Go out there and enjoy your non-league football.